Yeah, so always Death for Dishonor. We should go bottom to top. So we
All
get
right.
the coin flip that puts the ROH World Title on first. Jonathan Gresham defending the championship against Claudio Castagnoli. Gresham comes out and he's not wearing his mask. He's not wearing
I noticed that.
the
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 flag.
the flag that's not there. His normal entrance, and he has an all time boo boo face there going into this, and immediately just everything about this kind of just felt off to me. The match
Hmm.
was the match. Like I thought it was like kind of just there. It was about a 10-minute match, maybe 11 minutes. Casanoli puts him away. They do some, some nifty stuff, but nothing that's like they don't have set out to have no like great world title
Not at
match or
all.
anything.
Not at all. I, I
This was
thought that
like a
you.
middle of the Dynamite style match. Like, oh y'all got 10 minutes, go out there and we want Casanoli over very strong. And
I yeah. I thought it was better than that, but not much better than that. I thought you were going to say that like Jonathan Gresham. Like I know people make the joke about like he just be running around working the arm. He trick y'all.
trick y'all,
Like
yes.
I like the trickery. Like he does like in this match in particular. I don't think we'll call it as much in other matches I've seen from him, but like in this match in particular, he was doing a lot of like tricks, and it wasn't necessarily technical wrestling. It was like gamesmanship stuff. It was like shit that like William Regal will beat off to. Like in a crude way of saying it, that's the kind of stuff he lives for. So, but yeah, like I thought it was a good match. And the right person won. Like we talked about this as far as like the right decision is Claudio, but like me, I'll kind of agonize over the identity of this company with whatever else. But like ultimately at the end, Tony Khan did the right thing and put the belt on Claudio.
Yeah, this I think the whole thing with Claudio kind of felt like it was a little rushed, and it is almost like
Right. It is.
what does the ROH title really mean right now, especially with the way like Gresham kind of dropped it, the situation it was in. Then with Gresham requesting his release from AEW/ROH, supposedly there was a blow up. He cussed Tony Khan out. There was I think he had problems with his presentation. He had problems kind of with, maybe where TK saw him in the grand, scheme of things. People are going to be upset. As far as like what I saw people all of a sudden, Jonathan Gresham became a cause over the weekend that they were fighting for. They had to get the focus off of Friday's news somehow, but this was a I don't
So
know.
what actually? So what is basically you say that there was some blow up, but like what publicly happened to make this a thing? Because like it was a thing that I heard about before I didn't even watch the show, and that it got to me. Was it just the regular discourse?
Yeah, it was like
Because everything is an
Jonathan
indictment of
Gresham was
AEW at all times.
he was done dirty. He was like he was a guy that was uh it was hard to really like decipher all the noise because we were hearing like a lot of different stuff. I'm gonna try to pull up some of the stuff I
I,
was sending, but
Zach
um
just said the next stop is the next stop CYN. Um, Something tells me that him and CYN is not the greatest of fits.
yeah, it's like I
Just a guess, wild guess.
like if he stays in a place where he's not happy and he just kind of goes around grumpy, and obviously the guy thinks very highly of himself. And MJ does PR, yes, that Russell Pierce interview he actually did with backup Hangman, shout out to him, like the day before is pretty telling to see like the way he kind of like looks at wrestling. And he's trying to break a mold. Like he's been vocal about being a black wrestler that doesn't necessarily need any type of gimmick. Why can't he just be the why can't he just be himself, like and a great technical wrestler. And
Cool. I mean, I don't necessarily. I get where he's getting at, and there's right about like a black wrestler or a wrestler. I'm not even going to get into like anything else, but like in terms of what he's talking about, he's absolutely right. Um, I also think that like if you're going to be If that's going to be your character and that's going to be your style and that's what you want to do and you're dead set on doing it, some adjustments have to be made for whatever venue you're in front of, or you're going to have some troubles at times. And like that is what working is, right? And like he even knows that. And we've seen him in Best Super Juniors, and like I think the stuff I've seen from him in Best Super Juniors like way outclassing the stuff I've ever seen him do in AEW Ring of Honor up to this point. So like yeah, like he clearly understands that, but like something is not clicking when he's in front of, and it's obviously has something to do with like the parameters of hey, you're out there with Dalton Castle who's had a fork stuck in his back since like 2018. As a better than just a good wrestler, and it's like it's really sick. It's like clearly the dude's talent. You see all the stuff he does in the ring, he's talented, but like does it like compel you when you watch it? Like does it make your blood pump? Does it wow you? And it's like I think it impresses me, but it doesn't wow me. And like I think that for a person like me that loves a lot of stuff, a lot of wrestlers that fit into that kind of phylum that he fits in, like he kind of fits more of what I want to see in wrestling at times, or as far as want to see a variety of different types of styles of wrestling. I don't think for the average AEW viewer that kind of stuff necessarily resonates unless you mix it with some other stuff like intense striking or maybe even some flying or a faster pace or whatever else. So I think that like I said, like it's working and is working to the audience, and like he knows this. It's just it doesn't seem that like it's happening in like these most crucial moments, and it leaves you wondering like what's going on. Like, is this a mandate? Is this a you're pissed off? Is this what is it? So I think there's some questions to be asked, and I think that regardless of I think that in the future we'll get some answers on like what all this has been, because like the second he showed up, he felt like a lame duck champion. Like he's coming out there standing next to Samoa Joe. Right, he's coming out there standing next to Samoa Joe, the TV champion. Is like
Samoa Joe's way more popular.
Samoa, right, and Samoa Joe just took the air out of the room, and it wasn't like he was doing it on purpose. Just like,
yeah,
it was a rough spot. It's a rough spot all around. But I don't blame. I get why I get his frustration, because like we were talking about it. I was talking about this before. Before this even happened, it was like, what is the reason to care about him when he's on AEW television? They haven't really done it. So yeah, like I see his frustration. So from what I can tell, I don't know if there's anything more from than what you said, but like from the information I know, it's a rough situation. Like both. Like I can see why he feels frustrated. I think that's valid, and I don't really feel the need to defend Tony Khan in this situation, because, like, quite frankly, if I was in Tony Khan's situation, like I'm putting the belt on Claudio too.
And like I'm not too impressed by the guy, like personally, like that's not my flavor of what he does. There's obviously there's a size component I think that's throwing a lot of people off, as far as like him being in the ring with Claudio looked crazy in some aspects.
Claudio did go out there looking like the Undertaker.
Yeah, like I was like, hold on, am I watching Andre the Giant versus Coco Beware? Like, what is this? Like, I don't know, but
Wow.
I'm looking at this guy, and I just got to let people know a superstar was not missed out on. A game-changing box office attraction was not missed out on. Like, let's keep it in perspective. Let's keep it real here. Like, this was not someone that was overflowing with star potential, like, to be like, oh, you can make a ton of money with this person. His performances have been just regular good old 3-star specials since he's been in AEW, even on the ROH show with Bandito. Game is a game. Jonathan Gresham ain't better than Azumi. He ain't never been oppressed me like that. Like, so it's like,
Well, Azumi might be the most fun person to watch in the world in right now. So I mean,
learn how to
or
be fun.
2022. So yes, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get it.
I
Yes.
want Jonathan Gresham to since everybody's saying he's the craze right now, and I just want everybody to enjoy Terminus. It's a good thing he started his own promotion so he can give us his vision of pro wrestling.
Yeah. With extra rules that Daniel Garcia talked about.
Ironically, if this was Japan, a lot of Japanese wrestlers started their own promotions. So, like, Emi Sakura gave us her vision of pro wrestling. Junichiro Tenryu gave us his version of pro wrestling with War and all that stuff, right? Maybe Terminus, is the way. Maybe, the people will decide, But when I hear people talk about, he's like one of the 5 best technical wrestlers in the world and stuff, and I'm like, so? Like, I don't I don't care. Like it's a 2-hour show that comes on every week, and making room for let's say the 4th or 5th best technical wrestler or whatever. I don't think that's a priority. Like that needs to be like necessarily that anyone else needs to be shoved out the way for for this guy that shows up with the boo boo face. When it's time for him to, hey man, the job, you need to go out there and lose. Like, make this man look good.
Yeah. I think also is like the way people have the definition of what a technical wrestler is so freaking like narrow. Like, I'm sorry, like Kota Ibushi is an excellent like technical wrestler. Like, I'm sorry, like Pac is an excellent technical wrestler. Yes, there's a lot of flying involved in it, but like that's a part of technique. That's technique that other people that aren't being used in other people's games. And like just laying down, like I don't say laying down the mat, but like just rolling on the mat or working holds or getting in and out of holds or doing nifty holds is not all of technical wrestling. It's a foundational part, but like there are so many elements in pro wrestling towards like I think that when we talk about that, like it's so narrow. It's like, yeah, sure. Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest technical wrestlers of all time, undisputed. You tell me whose job is harder, like doing all the shit he does or doing all the shit that, as we already mentioned, the fucking 19-year-old Wonder Kid Azumi does. That's fucking hard. That is fucking hard to be that smooth doing all that shit that fast. Like, that's wizardry.
Like, I hate to say it, like I think he's gonna be like kind of a cautionary tale. Like, if he never makes it back to like a major league level like AEW, ROH, or even WWE, right? Like, I think
he won't be hurting for work, I don't think.
Like, I think he'll catch on at like Impact. Like, I'm sure he'll still be booked, different places and all that. But I think there's someone that is going to break that mold that he's trying to make. I just don't think it's him.
I mean, we see people break that mold all the time. Like people call him the Black Bryan Danielson for a reason. Like, Danielson was able to make all this shit work. Kyle O'Reilly is able to make all this shit work. Pete Dunne is able to make all this shit work. Johnny Gargano is able to make all this shit work. Like, so when Sabre is able to make a lot of this shit work, right? So when it's just it's the same thing when people talked about Dean Malenko, right? It's like, yes, he's as a technical wrestler. Does he compel you in that way? For some, yes. For others, no. And like that's a big determinant on how people feel about people. Like, and like clearly the dude is skilled and all that kind of stuff. But like his vision for pro wrestling, that's what he wants to do. More power to him. Does that mean he's going to like, main event a show with 20,000 people in it? Probably not. but most people aren't either. So, you know, whatever. If he wants to, you know, do his thing, let him do his thing. More power to him.
I'm sure the 100 people at Terminus will enjoy it.
Shit.
Just
Here
fine.
you go. God damn it. I was trying to leave it off with that, and that was gonna be like a thing of